So welcome back, everybody. Have you ever felt your putter was just a little too long for you? I mean, to the point where you want to choke down on it, or maybe even had the bright idea that, well, it can't be that hard to make it shorter, so you cut off the grip, cut off an inch or two with a hacksaw, then put a new grip on, but after doing so, it just never felt the same way again. If that sounds like you, then today is a great video for you to watch because I'm going to talk about both the positive and negative implications of what happens when you make your putter shorter or longer. So let's jump in and find out exactly what we're talking about. So before we dive into today's topic, I first off want to welcome you to our channel. My name is John. I co-own and operate a local club fitting business with the help of my son and my nephew here in the United States. And every single week, we get the opportunity to help a lot of golfers take their game to another level by not only sharing some wisdom and knowledge with them, but we also help them understand how their gear is either helping or hurting their golf game. So if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so and smash that bell so this way each and every single week you receive an alert when we drop our new content. So now let's peel back those layers once and for all to help you understand what does actually happen when you decide to cut your putter down or add an extension to make it play a little longer. And the reason why we wanted to do this video is because I'm quite confident that there are a ton of golfers out there that's currently playing with the putter that's just not the right length for them. And although these changes that we've been talking about is relatively easy and anybody can do it, there are some potential implications you need to be aware of, such as, did you know that a face that's either 2 degrees open or 2 degrees closed never has a chance of making a 5-foot putt? Sounds pretty crazy, right? But I mean, we're just talking 2 degrees. And what happens if you extend that distance out, right, to say 15 feet? There, your margin of error has just been reduced pretty dang on significantly. There, our face has to be less than 1 degree open and less than 1 degree closed just to give yourself a fighting chance of making those 15-footers. So as you can see, if there's going to be any chance with you dropping those long range putts in for birdie or eagle, or even tapping those knee knockers in for par, we got to be able to help you maintain that face control. And believe me, there's no better way to help you do so than to dial in your length. But there are a couple things we got to keep in mind when we make these changes. The two key variables that will be impacted more than anything else if we are thinking about making our putter shorter or longer is none other than lie angle and swing weight. And lie angle's part of the equation is really responsible for that directional control. And as I shared a moment ago, just a face that's 2 degrees open, 2 degrees closed, you don't have a fighting chance of making any 5-footer when it's set up that way, right? And that's why where every single degree matters. So I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on lie angle, but I will do a quick recap. So if a club is too long, the toe is likely to be up in the air, and if it's up, our tendency is to miss left. If the club is too short, the toe will likely be down, and our miss will likely be right. No different than any other golf club, the lie angle principles still hold true here. But the key thing here is a lot of people will make an adjustment, cut a little bit off, and they'll think, well, I naturally flatten the lie, no different than if I choke down. But the key thing I want to drive home is you may have adjusted it a little, but it may not have been enough, and all it takes is 1 degree to make a 15-footer to potentially missing a 15-footer. So guys, that's why lie angle is that critical, and seeking out a trained professional could potentially be the difference of you dropping more putts or missing more putts. So definitely get that looked at. Now, the other part of the equation is the swing weight. Now, I will say this is probably the most misunderstood, but its role and responsibility in the putting stroke is that of the timing element, right? It's your ability to consistently and repeatedly square that face up time and time again. And the reason why this is the most misunderstood is because I see a lot of individuals making the wrong swing weight calculations. And here's what I mean by that is it's just not as simple as saying if you take an inch off a club, it's going to affect it by 0.5 or 0.6 of a swing weight. That does apply for drivers, irons, and some wedges, but not for your putters. Right? So if we do take an inch off of a driver or an iron, yeah, swing weight will be affected by 0.5, 0.6. But for your putter, it can go as high as 1.2. And if you really look at how many points are in a full swing weight letter, there's 10 points. So in essence, if you cut an inch off of a putter, you've done affected it by 1 full letter, right? So let me show you an example of what that really looks like. And I'm going to illustrate this by showing you what the impact of the swing weight is using a Ping Sigma 2 putter. Why? Because I have the ability to make this putter play like a 32-inch putter or a 36-inch putter by simply using this tool and adjusting the length on the fly. I mean, it's like a club fitter's dream to be able to do that. But let's go ahead and take a look at the current swing weight of a 34-inch Ping Sigma 2 Anser putter, right? When you look at this scale here, you'll see the letters A, B, C, D, and then you're going to see little hash marks in between the letters. 1-2 clicks above or past D makes this a D2 swing weight for this 34-inch Ping Sigma Anser 2 putter, okay? So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tool, I'm going to insert it into the grip end, and I'm going to actually, with a couple twists and turns, I'm going to make it play like a 35 inches by making it longer. I mean, once again, this is like 5 seconds. Old days, we would have had to cut the grip off, add an extension. You know, it was just a pain. And then honestly, it was to a point where a club fitter really wouldn't have the ability to do this on the fly. So now I'm going to put the putter back on the swing weight scale. Let's tilt the camera back down so that way you can now see. So D2 was the original setting. Let's slide the weight, see what it is. I got all the way up to E3 and it actually was too heavy, so I need to click it back just a little bit. And I'm sitting at right now E2. Once again, you can see the letters C, D, E. 1-2 clicks past the E makes it an E2. The only difference that we made between measurement 1, measurement 2 was added an extra inch. It was that simple, that easy, but that just drives home the point that, you know, the same inch that we take off a driver and it only affects it 0.5, 0.6, right? It's not the same for a putter. It's going to actually affect your swing weight by 1 full letter, and that's why if you cut your putter down, you really probably have affected your swing weight pretty dang on significantly to the point it doesn't feel like it should. And as you've seen, the only variable was length. It was the exact same putter. I mean, I used that pretty cool tool to make it longer or shorter, but the impact was pretty profound. 10 full points, 1 full letter. Now, the good news is this is something that you can fix on your own. So let's say you did cut it down and you didn't know what the swing weight implication was, but you can just simply get it back, right? So you know you need to bring it back up. So we're looking at move 1 point out of the head is 2 grams. So we need to add approximately 20 grams of mass to that head. So we can add some high density lead tape to the back of the putter, maybe swap out those weights for a little heavier ones. But here is my recommendation. Do it in increments because you might not be needing a full letter. You might need a half a letter, but you never know until you try. So definitely test, try, measure. Test, try, measure, wash, rinse, repeat until you find that consistency that you're searching for. Very much the same way that a club fitter would do for you if you went through a legitimate putter fitting session, right? So, you know, who knows? You might even find that you like a little lighter swing weight and maybe you didn't cut your putter down and you're thinking about making it a little longer or whatever. There, you know what? Adding a counter grip to the butt side of it, a little heavier grip, maybe a super stroke with that weight in the back of it would be your best friend, but once again, you don't know until you try. So as you can see, I turned some of the lights on and actually changed the camera angle for this portion of the video. Why? Because up until this point, we've been talking about the cause and effect of what happens when you go shorter or longer in your putter, but we haven't really shared any information or guidance on how do you determine what is the proper putter length. Well, guys, I'm going to share with you an oldie but goodie, and if you've seen this one before, just bear with me because it's worth repeating. And it's just that effective, okay? Now, there's a lot of debate on do you want your eyes directly over the ball or directly inside the golf ball, okay? You know, so I'm going to leave that debate for the putting experts, and what I'm sharing with you today is just what these experts have shared with me in the past, and it's something that I've just have stuck with, and it's worked really, really well for our customers. So in general, we really want our eyes to be about 2 to 3 balls inside the ball on the ground. right? We don't want our eyes directly over top of it. It just puts us in a bad position. So that's what's been shared with me. So that's what I'm sharing with you now. So with that said, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the putter in question that I feel is either too short or too long, sole it on the ground, and I'm going to grip to the end of the club. I'm going to take the second ball from the bridge of my nose. I'm going to let it fall, right? And I want to see where it landed. Right? Not where it ended, but where it landed. And I'm about a full 8 inches inside the other ball. I know that this putter is too long for me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grip down on the putter to where I think it should be, and I'm going to do that test again, right? So I'm going to get a little bit closer, grip down, same test, drop the ball exactly about 3 inches inside the ball that time. I know that's spot on. Now all I got to do is take a measuring tape and measure from the butt end of the club to the top part of my hand and then subtract a 1/4 inch, right? So you don't want to take it directly to the fat part of your hand where it stops. Just, go all the way down, see what it is, subtract a 1/4 inch, and then that's what you can actually cut off. And that is a great way to determine what your putter length is. Now that gets you cut down, doesn't really affect the lie angle. That still may have to be adjusted. Once again, seek out a trained professional if you don't have the ability to bend your clubs on your own. So we truly hope you found value in this information we share with you today. So whether you've already made adjustments or you are on the fence thinking about making these adjustments, if you have any questions at all, leave them in the remarks below. And if you did find value, just let us know by smashing that thumbs up. And don't forget to take a look at one of these videos over here to the side. Just might be a good way to pass some time until next week when we drop our next video. So thanks again for watching.